In the heart of a vast, untamed jungle, the canopy stretched high above, filtering the sunlight into soft rays that danced upon the forest floor. The jungle was a world of its own, where every creature, from the smallest insect to the mightiest predator, had its role to play. Among the inhabitants of this wild world was a cunning lion, known for his sharp instincts and sly nature. One day, while the lion prowled through the dense underbrush, he heard a commotion coming from a nearby clearing. His ears twitched at the sound of excited chatter, and his keen eyes scanned the area for signs of life. Intrigued, he followed the noise, moving stealthily through the jungle, his powerful muscles tensed and ready. As he neared the clearing, he saw a large gathering of jungle animals, deer, monkeys, and birds, all watching something intently. The lion, curious by nature, pushed his way through the crowd. What he saw surprised him. Two giant pandas, usually known for their gentle nature, were engaged in a fierce battle. Their thick fur was matted, and their usually calm eyes were now filled with fury. The ground beneath them shook as they grappled with each other, and the jungle echoed with the sound of their struggle. The lion, accustomed to being the dominant force in the jungle, was both impressed and intrigued. The lion stood on the edge of the clearing, watching as the pandas fought with a strength he hadn't expected. Their every move seemed calculated, their determination unmatched. As the battle wore on, the pandas began to tire. Their once powerful strikes became sluggish, and their movements more labored. Blood dripped from their wounds, soaking into the soft earth beneath them. The sight of the fresh blood awakened a deep hunger within the lion. His mouth watered, and his stomach growled. He could almost taste the victory that awaited him if he could only seize the opportunity. I could feast like a king today, the lion thought to himself. He imagined sneaking up on the exhausted pandas, delivering a quick, decisive blow, and claiming his prize. But a slow voice inside him warned against acting too quickly. Be patient, it said. Wait until they are too weak to fight back. Yet, the lion's greed overpowered his caution. The more he watched, the more he desired to act. Patience had always been his strength, but now, in the face of such temptation, he could wait no longer. Driven by his hunger and greed, the lion decided to strike. He crouched low, his muscles rippling beneath his golden fur as he prepared to pounce. His eyes locked onto the weary pandas, and his claws extended, ready to deliver the fatal blow. But just as he was about to leap, a voice in his head reminded him of the dangers. He said to himself,
"They are still strong. Wait until they are weaker," it cautioned.
But the lion's desire clouded his judgment, and with a mighty roar, he sprang forward. The jungle fell silent as the lion entered the fray, his powerful body a blur of speed and strength. He aimed to land on one of the pandas, thinking he could overpower the exhausted creature with ease. But in his haste, he had underestimated the panda's resilience. The first panda, seeing the lion approach, rolled to the side just in time, causing the lion to crash into the second panda. The panda, though tired, reacted with a powerful swipe of his paw, sending the lion tumbling across the clearing. Dazed and confused, the lion struggled to regain his footing. Before he could recover, the first panda charged at him, using the last of his strength to ram the lion with all his might. The animals in the clearing watched in stunned silence as the pandas, once locked in combat with each other, turned their fury on the lion. The lion tried to escape, but the pandas were relentless. They cornered him, using their combined strength to trample and claw at him until he was a bruised and battered mess on the jungle floor. Every time he attempted to flee, they blocked his path, their eyes burning with a mixture of pain and anger. Lion said,
Please stop, I'm sorry.
The lion whimpered, but his pleas were lost on the enraged pandas. They had no mercy left to give, their minds clouded by the adrenaline of the fight. They continued their assault until the lion lay barely conscious, his once proud body now broken and defeated. Finally, when the lion was on the brink of death, the pandas backed off. They stood over him, panting and bleeding, but victorious. The other animals, who had been silent during the beating, began to murmur again. A deer whispered.
He got what he deserved.
Greed always leads to downfall.
The lion, weak and trembling, lay on the ground, his vision fading. He had been so close to victory, but his impatience and greed had cost him everything. As darkness began to close in around him, he realized too late that his desire for more had been his undoing. As the crowd of jungle animals dispersed, the lion was left lying in the dirt, a cautionary tale for all who witnessed the events. The pandas, though still bleeding from their wounds, limped away together, their fight forgotten in the face of a common threat. The lion, clinging to life by a thread, managed to crawl away from the clearing. He found a quiet spot deep in the jungle, far from prying eyes, and collapsed. For days, he lay there, nursing his wounds and reflecting on his mistakes. Though he eventually recovered, the scars from his encounter with the pandas remained with him forever, a constant reminder of the consequences of his greed. From that day on, the lion became more cautious, more patient. He had learned a harsh lesson about the dangers of letting greed cloud his judgment, one he would never forget. Moral: greed blinds us to the dangers ahead. Patience and wisdom are the keys to survival.